Sunday Night with Those Guys, and Sunday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those
Those Guys.
guys.
Oh, you sound like a bunch of drunkards, man.
Yeah, we should be drinking.
It was like do.
Remix.
Okay. Anyway, I muted it. Thanks, Herman. It was the three dots to click and copy that to that section. That's
Right, that's
what I
what I
was
kept
getting.
telling you was what you were missing.
Okay. Anyway, what's up, Tom? What's up, Stevie Bronx? How are you, Paul? And how are you, Herman? Night Train.
Doing good, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
All good, guys.
Tim Jackson's listening, so no more typing, man, while you're on your way to work.
Yeah,
Mr.
be careful, Tim.
Blind Neil was here. There's a few people that popped in and out. What's up, everyone? How was everyone's week?
Well, I can't complain too much, as you know, they got me up in with a walker, starting to take a couple of steps here.
Oh,
It's
Good.
it's not anything serious. Like I said to you before, once we were talking, I thought I'd be walking a little bit by this point in time, and they told me, no, this is a lot serious than you think it is. A lot of things that you used to be able to do, you may not be able to do anymore.
So
But,
you're entering the geriatric stage with the walker.
So I put a little weight on it to start moving with the walker. The old man creep,
Mm-hmm.
and they constantly upright, straight, stand up straight, stand up straight. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right. Well, hey,
It's gonna
Desmond
take
says
you some
what's up to
getting
everyone.
back to. Yeah.
Yeah, take your time. Don't overdo it.
Wow. Why did I have that window open on top of that? But okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, you know how he was sitting in the chat, Herman? So we
Right.
could watch the chat. It actually opened another window. What's good, JSK Surprise?
For me, it opened the same window I had sitting here open.
I had the window the chat room open on my page,
Uh-huh.
and it did refresh. The commercial came on, it
Right.
refreshed, commercial came on, and then you can click skip. But it opened up a second window for some reason, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to complain about it.
I don't think anything is going on in that window.
Well, what platforms are you on now?
Well, right, what we're doing is there's a new way to go live. You remember when we would go live through Zoom, everyone, if I scheduled it, everyone would sit in the chat room like they do Ken Herron's room. And then when I started the live stream, it would start a completely separate live stream and leave those people sitting there. Now it does not do that if you follow the golden rule.
I thought maybe you were broadcasting on TikTok at the same time.
No, man, no. But anyway, we have a decent topic to talk about. We've been talking about UTMs and unmanned traffic management systems, but I have some proof that the unmanned traffic management system does exist. They've been using it for a while. Tom, you know about it, but we're going to go into it a little later.
Okay.
It has to do with Rome, New York, and these highways that they were creating, but it's still early. And,
By Syracuse, people. A
Yes,
reference
yes.
point that would be Oneida County, New York State.
Yes. So I have some stuff set up to show that they've actually been testing unmanned traffic management systems here in New York for over a year, and they haven't been just testing it with one type of drone, etc. So we'll get into that.
A lot of depth there. There's a lot of depth.
Yeah. We'll get into that a little later on as the lobby fills up. So how was your week, Tom? Oh, did you go to the Five Borough meetup, guys?
No, unfortunately, I had another engagement, but
I went. I
it
just
looks
got
like
back
they
from
had a
there.
good time. Yeah, how'd it go, Stevie?
It was good. It was good. Tons of food, tons of snacks, cakes, cookies. They had all types of stands set up to clean your hands, and they had one person who served the food. They didn't let you touch anything, and that person made sure that everything was clean. You know, it was
that was
well
nice.
organized. Yeah, it was
Good,
definitely, and it was a big
good. That was
turnout.
nice.
It was very,
For those
very
of
big
you
turnout.
who don't know what
Excellent.
we're talking about, NYC Five Borough Drone Meetup is kind of infamous for having an end of the summer barbecue and get together, which is always a good turnout. But earlier this week, here in New York City, we lost a drone pilot. His Facebook name was Mike Nice. I knew him as Mike. Herman knew him. A lot of us here in New York knew him.
Sure,
He
sure.
passed away this week. Due to what? We have no idea. But his son was supposed to show up at this barbecue because they turned it from an NYC Flyborough end of the year barbecue to sort of like a barbecue / memorial flight for Mike Nice.
You know, when I saw that, I was like, I told you once, I said, I saw that just before I was going to bed that night. And I said, I put this video out, and it was Mike that took us out there
Yes.
to Northport, you know, at that beach. And then we end up going over to Cold Spring Harbor, was able to shoot that area. And then the next day I see this on Facebook, and I was like, but
That makes no sense, man.
It's just crazy because he was here.
He was just recently. Anyone who lives outside of the 5 boroughs and pretty much outside of New York City, they say I'm going to the city. So even if you're going to Brooklyn, you're still considered going to the city.
Yep.
So
100%.
and he used to tell people, "Yo, I'm coming to the city to fly. What's up? Where are we gonna meet? By the Verrazano or whatever?" And he was here, if I remember. John Santiago, Drips FPV, etc. He is saying that he was here about a week and a half ago. So they were hanging out, and I don't know what happened. They said he woke up that morning to find.
What do you know, Stevie?
He was at the last meetup basically. That Tom went to, and you know, he seemed fine. He didn't seem weak or any kind of illness or anything like that.
I think it was something acute.
Yeah, it was so weird to hear that. And I tell you, I know most of you guys know, I was flying for many years by myself, and one of the first meetups I went to was at Valentino Park, and it was a lot of people there. And I remember I took my drone up.
One of my lights just dropped.
I took the drone up, and it was so many OcuSyncs and all that going on that I was getting all this interference. So I just brought the drone right back down. Didn't want to take no chances, and I kind of just put it to the side. And Mike Nice was one of the first people. Everybody said hello and everything. Everybody's cool. He was the first person to come up and actually strike up a conversation. And from then on, every time I went to a meetup, we would be talking. And I know, Tom, you saw us. We were talking for like a half hour that time.
Always talk to Mike. Always talk to Mike.
Yeah, I spent a good half hour at the last meetup that we had in Brooklyn, and it was shocking. You know, like I just, you know, at first I thought his father passed away. Right? Because
I wasn't sure what I was seeing.
Somebody went on his page and said, "Rest in peace, Dad," or something like that.
Yeah,
so
I
was kind of confused.
I saw one of his nephews that had posted, "Uncle, we're gonna miss you," because I saw John post something to it. I'm like, wait a minute, let me go to his page because we're friends. And then I saw people starting to send their condolences. And
I saw
stuff like that.
Anthony, I think his name is Anthony. He posted on one of the group pages. And that's when I went to his page and I saw all the family and everything putting all this.
You talking about Anthony Charles?
Yes. He posted something, and that's when I realized what was going on. I didn't know until that point.
Earlier.
And then it was like, I don't know. It's crazy. But like I said, he was one of the first people that came up because I was always down with all the little groups, but I really didn't pay attention to what was going on in the groups. I think I was telling you that, Lawrence, last time. I didn't really pay attention because I'm not really good with the social media. So I would be on and I would post my stuff and I'll sign off and continue with my day. But when I first started, like, all right, let me go to these meetups and start hanging out with people, like-minded people, so I could figure this stuff out, especially like where to fly and where not to fly. Because in the beginning, I really didn't know. And he was the first person. He came out the group and he struck up conversation about my drone. And then we ended up just talking in the sidelines for a while. And like I said, every meetup from that point,
just like mine.
Unfortunately, he did not have a YouTube page.
He did.
No.
He did have one.
Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Hey,
during today's barbecue, they took a moment. They gathered everybody from the barbecue, and they brought us all to this laptop. they had like a speaker hooked up to the laptop, and they played his last video. He actually flew the Droznik Bridge, his last video.
Okay.
And they said that he had, they were putting some relation to the song he picked for the video, almost like something was going on. Maybe he has some medical history that we didn't know about or something. I don't know. But they were saying like there's like a message in the song they were talking about.
What's his YouTube?
It should be, look up Mike Nice, because I believe I'm definitely following, because from the day that I met him, we exchanged channels.
You subscribed to him, Lawrence, back when we
I know
Yeah,
that I am.
I have his channel somewhere. I'll send you the
It's
link.
up on.
I have him.
Oh, you have him. All right, good.
I think
He
I have,
he
wait a
flew the
minute.
Droznik Bridge. That was his last video, and the video went up not too long ago.
I got it.
Not too long ago.
I actually
Maybe about 3
have it.
weeks ago.
So those of you that are in New York City 5 Borough, if you want to see that link, it's posted as an announcement at the top of the page.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? We should actually share his last video.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I actually have it. I actually have it loaded up here. Give me a second. I don't know it's as far as playing his music. I don't know what.
Yeah.
That'll go out.
Just post it. They can watch it later. Definitely.
Yeah, this is true too. So
yeah, better off that way.
Let them watch it on their own. Yeah, so you don't get a strike.
Here it is right here. Pasting in the group now. So
that was his last video. So they played the video. They had like a moment of silence basically to watch the video. And then it was really good. It was really good. It was really good to see everybody showing their respect,
Okay. Well, that was the key thing. Someone had hit me up this morning at about 7:30 and was like, was I going? And I was like, no. And I was waiting for them to ask me why, but I just couldn't go into detail as to why I was going. But someone did ask me, and I did think about it seriously. But there were enough people there to go by and show respect to him. So.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of people there. There people brought their families and stuff, and it was definitely a good look. I got there a little late, not super late, but I say maybe 1 o'clock or something like that. I know they started at 8, and there was still a lot of people there.
Yeah,
and when
I were
left,
out there early.
Yeah, I saw them setting up like 8 in the morning or something like that.
They did start at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Well,
I think there's enough people in NYC 5 boroughs to get him past 151 views.
Yeah, I think so too.
On his last video.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's Ray. He's coming in.
Yeah, I saw Ray. Ray was at the barbecue.
Mike was the one that got us out to Northport. We got to fly that beach. What's up, Ray?
Yes.
Nice little spot
over
out
by
there.
the Northport power plant. Yeah, there's a nice beach over there. I agree. That's great. At that time,
somebody on the stream got muted.
Oh, that's Ray. He's got a mute. He got it.
I got to mute. My bad.
Yes. Don't worry about it.
He's got the stream in the background.
Okay. There you go. It's muted.
So yeah.
Anyway, what's good, Ray? How are you? We were just talking about the barbecue at NYC 5 Borough, and kudos to you guys that turned it into a barbecue / marathon. Now, last I had heard this morning from John. John was on his way driving there for Drips FPV, and he was saying that Mike's son was supposed to come to the barbecue. So did he actually come, or
No,
I don't know.
No, he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. Okay.
No.
All right, because that was, I think somebody was communicating with him on a page or trying to get him to come. I think John may have been, and John was like, "Yo, he did want to come." So
I try to reach out to his wife too, because I spoke to her one time or another over the phone, because when I met him when he came down to the job.
Yeah.
Flew off the roof and stuff like that. So actually, me and him he was supposed to come down. We were supposed to do the 9/11 lights, man. That's what's really crazy about it, man. We have been talking about it for like over a couple of months, with this whole thing going on. And then
there was a group of people flying the 9/11 lights. You had Billy Kyle came into Brooklyn, Elliot, Eli, Eddie Nunez,
B.
William Galland, I think
Galgan.
he's from out of state. And then while they were over there
Yeah,
flying,
D.
Deneen
Deneen.
ran into them over there.
Yeah.
So there were a few people here in New York flying.
Ron Sobers posted from his wife, posted up on the Five Boroughs site the funeral arrangements and all.
Oh, okay.
So that was Ron. Ron Sobers posted that up on the site. So.
I haven't been on Five Boroughs page today. I need to go through there and see how the barbecue was.
Mike's real name was Michael Heath.
Okay, well, Mike Nice was good enough because
Mike was his
nice.
Online persona, and
nice.
he absolutely was.
Yes,
nice guy.
One of the nicest guys.
This is true.
That's a great thing about this hobby we share, this passion we share. We should meet good people like that. It's a shame to see him go so quickly.
This is true. Now, I did have a little bit of drone news, but the main part of drone news and the topic, I named it tonight, multi-platform UTM testing in New York City. Now, over a year ago, I was talking on the live stream.
That's a little clickbait there. That's some clickbait there.
We all do it.
I got some info to back up some of that clickbait.
We'll hear you out.
Some actual footage. But over a year ago, I was talking when we first started this live stream, I was talking about how my nephew was mentioning that from Utica, New York to Rome, New York, they were clearing the skyways to run drones back and forth. And Oneida County it is, Tom? I think,
Oneida County in upstate New York.
Yes, they were actually the main headquarters or a main hub for where all of this stuff is going on. Well, we've been also told through symposiums and events that were happening this year that at December 31st, 2020, going into 2021, they would start unmanned remote ID testing as well as UTMs, unmanned traffic management systems. And I was just happened to run across a story because I was looking for something to talk about. They were saying that the New York UAS test site is one of 7 across the United States. Now they're testing 7 of these highways randomly across the United States. Of course, this one happens to be here in New York. FAA designated UAS test sites, there's a list of the different ones. This one here in New York, owned by Oneida County and managed by New Air. This test site, they've been able to run different drones in different directions at different altitudes and have almost 0 accidents or incidents within a 50-mile corridor. Now, I had heard about Syracuse, them running this traffic from Syracuse to Rome and from Rome to Syracuse.
It's actually Utica to Rome is where they're actually running the traffic from.
Okay.
So Griffiths is like 30, 35, 36 miles east of Syracuse, if you want to know the lay of the land up there.
Yeah.
So the Northeast UAS Airspace Integration Research Alliance, that's New Air. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they basically own the project. They're the ones that were selected to manage the project and manage that New York State UAS test site.
I'm actually on the Griffiths International Airport page, and unbeknownst to us, we're just hearing about this, but
they're running tests daily.
Yeah, right, but they have a total UAS test flights, and they go back as far as 2015, testing different technologies. Sure. In 2015, they had 66 tests. As of 2019, because 2020 is still ongoing, as of 2019, there were 546 flights and tests running in different directions and doing stuff like that. So to give you an idea of what this drone highway is, I have a picture here. I just have to bring it up real quick. And this video shows everything that's within this 50-mile marker and everything that's outside of this 50-mile marker, and they can identify everything that's in the air. This is it right here. Pretty much this circle here is the 50-mile corridor that they're running. A lot of these other circles are aircraft and or UAS vehicles of different makes and types. And if you look at the video as I hit play here, they zoom in to the main focus area. Now, what I mean by multi-platform, we're talking some DJI, mostly non-DJI, but remember Amazon, Matternet, who's working for UPS. Go ahead, Tom.
So you have a whole list of companies. You have Aerox. Aerox is GE.
This is all
General
drone
Electric's,
data.
UTM venture. You have the Albany County Sheriff's Office. You have Johns Hopkins University is involved. The Applied Physics Lab. One Sky does UTM analytics. Okay, they do aviation analytics. A company called Resilience. Their job is fault detection, fault tolerance, and fault avoidance, or AKA crash avoidance.
Well, Tom, this is what I was talking about when I was listening to what was going on last symposium, when they were talking about this as we call it, drone highway, the things that they were doing in there. And one thing that everybody is now starting to see things come up of, beyond the visual line of sight. And these are some of the things that they were talking about in there. And I mentioned a lot of times before about seeing a void. It's not so much about us as drone pilots seeing a void. What they were talking about is being able to cut down the fatalities of these crafts that they want to push up and down in the future in these areas.
Well, your fault tolerance, if you think about it, you strive in the aviation community to have a fault tolerance of one big goose egg, okay?
Right.
You don't want any accidents.
Exactly.
So,
especially
when you talk about the multi-platform, as Lawrence is putting it, these are a multitude of layers. You have a company called True Weather Solutions, which is part of this also, and their whole job is to piece in how that real-time weather. I mean, remember when you're taking off from an airport, regardless of what you're flying, you have to get the local information.
Yes.
Right.
And in fact, when you call into the tower, you got to let them know that you got the local information by telling them, "Hey, I got information, William." Okay, because that was the last one that was broadcast. So this also has to play into all of that, and now realize that this corridor runs. This is what I was saying the other day. Was this corridor runs not to your conventional 400 foot level that you're thinking.
Yep.
They're operating in a Class D airspace upwards of 2,500 feet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what I was saying was you're going to have a stacked approach basically as far as corridor access. And when you fly, most people who've never seen an FAA sectional map would not know the complexities involved of routing aircraft through the sky.
Tom, you're 100% right about that. Sorry for interrupting you real quick, but I while you were mentioning the multi-spectral levels of air at the bottom of this page here, this is what everything that you saw flying around. These are the different elevations and classes of airspace that these vehicles were flying in during this testing system. Small UAS operations in Class G airspace nationally up to 1,200 feet above ground level. UAS operations in Class C and D airspace, SUAS BV loss beyond visual line of sight, operations up to 1,000 feet above ground level, 5,000 square miles of large UAS operations up to 10,000 mean sea level. For you guys who have your 107 know the difference between AGL and
AGL and
MSL.
MSL.
Right. And large UAS operations, large, meaning those 300-pound to 18 feet ones, large UAS operations up to FL 600. Designated airworthiness representatives, DAR, chase operations and night operations. So
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
graph, and I'm going to run it one more time. So we're talking a complexity of all
Sure.
of this here happening at the same time, running better than the freaking airport
Well,
and
well,
more
no,
efficiently.
no. Basically, what you're looking at is what most people don't get to see is how your airspace currently runs.
Yes.
Exactly.
Don't kid
Yeah.
yourself. Right now, this is what is running our environment right now across this country, and luckily across the mainstay of the globe.
Yes. Yes.
Without it, you'd be afraid to look up at the skies. Okay,
Now I want to
Or
point
so
out
walk on the
something.
ground.
I want to point out something really quick because when it loops back, if you look here where the video starts, this entire globe is the 50-mile corridor. But they are doing testing in and outside of this bubble as well. A lot of this aircraft on here is designated aircraft to fly in certain areas. When they were flying from back and forth from Utica to Rome, my nephew would let me know, oh, today they shut down the airports, the private airports, because they'll be covering this area here, going through. And the local residents of Utica, New York, were notified over the news and via mail a letter saying that there is SUAS testing in the area. If you own a drone, please do not take it up until after these certain times. And
right.
check if you're 107, check with local ATC, etc.
Lance is in operation at that location, by the way.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. So
Okay.
it's interesting to see, like you said, Tom, people, hey, what's up, Justin? People don't get to see the
Hey, Justin.
complexity of our airspace.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it takes.
And
It's
that's
a set of highways just like it is on the ground. In fact,
Mhm.
at a more complex
more
level
complex
because
because there is no
you
level.
add the Z into it. Okay, that magic X, Y, and Z.
Yes. Hey,
Uh,
global drones, and me as
so
adventure.
you have this operating at every airport, every major airport right now, where you have the systems that are close into the airports. You have the systems that take care of the regional areas, and they have the systems who take care of the wider area handoffs. So when you look at an FAA sectional map,
Mm-hmm.
you see these waypoints all over. They're actually routing you along these highways to get to different places, and that's what's going to happen here
Right.
also.
They're routing military, they're routing commercial, they're routing industrial.
Let's be happy it's better than our railroad system.
This
Okay,
is true.
at
Our
least
railroad system
It's
sucks
true.
in the
they're
state.
building in some future proofing, I believe, into the environment. uh you know if they could only do this on the rails, right?
Well, the thing about the difference between that, Tom, and you know that, and I know that the sky, the air is the same platform to run on. You don't have the rails can change when technology changes. The sky is always going to be the same thing to fly in.
Mm-hmm.
Except that
You just
holds true only in this country.
Hey,
Okay,
Birdman.
so when you go to the European Union and the train says it'll be there at 11:07, don't be there at 11:08.
yeah, Tom. But
Okay,
what
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
say
you're
to
right.
you is that you're looking at our subway system and the things like that and what we carry. When was it built?
it was built when everybody had everybody's fingers in each other's pockets, just like it continues to
It's
be
as
today.
Oh,
old
right,
as
That the
right,
ever.
money
right.
is not going where it needs to
When they
go.
were
I
individual
understand that,
Luckily,
companies.
but it's as old as ever. And to try to change it, you're gonna to bring in new technology. It will be to total reconstruction of our whole infrastructure.
Yeah, and you have to think about it, Tom. In Manhattan, it's the Fulton Street area at some points is 12 to 13 stories below ground.
Hey, gentlemen, you don't have to tell me what it looks like underneath this city. Okay? I've been where the sandhogs play.
Listen,
Okay?
Tom, I used to be a graffiti writer back in the day. You know our common subway map? Well,
the New York water
yes.
tunnel system.
Yes,
Okay?
yes. Under 42nd Street, before they sealed it off, used to be a city of homeless people.
Talk about from
42nd.
yeah.
Yeah, in the 70s and in the late 70s, early 80s, they had sections cut off that you couldn't go below 42nd Street. And I remember many a times coming from the movies or whatever the hell I was doing on 42nd Street and seeing homeless people climbing over the gate and climb in and out of it like it was a regular doorway.
If you look at our subway system that we're talking about, as it went on and it improved, you ever notice the cars got bigger, the train tracks are different compared to like the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 system that come out.
Oh, there's no room.
Those are those tight, smaller cars that cut through winding tracks through bedrock to get out of here.
Right.
You better hope it's bedrock.
If you remember the Second Avenue subway,
you just got to get newer ones that run on that same platform.
You remember the Second Avenue subway
with unbreakable windows?
Yeah, right. They had Second Avenue subway. The problem they had, all of the cars, like Herman said, the subway was designed for those old R46 cars, which were maybe about 45, 50 feet long. And after they built it, they said those new, we called them the ding dongs, the new ones that they just decommissioned. Those would rub the sides of the tunnel. So they abandoned the Second Avenue subway until they could redo all
you
of
take out graffiti artists.
So that was the noise I used to hear. That's scraping.
No, that was
you take
brakes.
No, those are the wheels on the track.
The wheels.
That's steel was you did.
I remember hearing the.
That's
I've done a few jobs underneath the subway cars. Scary place to be.
I can tell you some terrible stories.
Scary place to be.
I haven't been in the subway so long.
But trying to bring people out of the subway system, okay?
Yeah.
Power failure.
Who are distressed.
Okay. Remember right after in the early 2000s, we had a power failure, a blackout in the city.
I was in Brooklyn.
Bringing people up through the Flatbush Avenue extension.
Hey, Bill.
Okay.
It was about 16 flights of metal stairs to get people up. So, yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, if you guys were ever walking in Manhattan and you saw these grates, they used to paint them yellow. And if you look down, they had a triangle key for opening. Those were supposed to be for EMS, emergency and stuff like that.
They're emergency egress stairwells.
Yeah, those things
come up from various places
throughout the city, all over the sewer.
I got my track card.
What happened?
I've always had my track card, Tom.
Yeah, well, I still got a couple of keys that work throughout the city too, Herman.
I used to have a master key for the subway cars, and I used to have the triangle key, which opened the hatch. And once you pushed it, it was a spring-activated system. So if somebody was walking over it or near it, this big door would just swing open like this and bounce open. Yeah. I remember all of that
wind up call box key still, and and an elevator key. Any projects in the city, man?
You got the express elevator, right?
You had to. You have to recall the elevators.
Yeah, well, fine.
Call them all home.
That's a fireman.
Home.
It's a Yale key.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, getting back to this unmanned, multi-platform unmanned traffic management system.
Yeah, you got to realize what they're actually doing here. Okay, it's basically these UAS volume. How's the best way to put it? Reservations.
Aberdeen Proving Grounds.
Okay, so basically,
basically
think about it as you're moving product through an area, right? Mm-hmm. And from a logistics standpoint, you have to clear that area so this container can come through. So it's basically like taking that information there that you collect through those reservations, that I'll be moving product through this area at these points in time, and making sure that gets federated to those what do they call them, the UAS service providers, right? The suppliers, the USSs, right? Air Map, Kitty Hawk, all of those people, and then the flight, they call it the FIM system, Flight Information Management System. So these are all the engines. These are all the engines that are going to coordinate everything. Okay, and that's why you have these big companies. I mean, you know, you got who is it? Skywatch is Verizon's foot in this game, and you have the other one, Aerox, which is General Electric's territory in this pony ride. And think about what it is also. It's these vendors, all these industries all trying to fit in to figure out how these puzzle pieces come together to manage this environment.
Well,
so this is basically the second phase. This is the second phase.
Tom, apparently they're doing okay, because the fact
that it's not that they're not doing okay.
The fact that they can release this information means it's coming.
Well, the information is public. It's got to be. Okay, there's a requirement under the NPRM. This is all part of the process. So that whole basic registration requirement, okay, that's that first phase. This is the second phase. So all these pieces have to get together for this UTM, okay, to have the capability. You're not going to have, you know, by this point next year, still summer, you're not going to have drones flying autonomously throughout the country. It's not happening yet. No. So, you know, these things are coming together. They're all pieces, basically.
Well, Tom, that's what I was telling Lawrence in the beginning. I didn't understand where they were going with this. And I started to look into it and look at who was what and what they were doing as far as business-wise. And then I started to understand why these were the people who were brought in as, you know, to get this.
They have a big...
The way this thing was being done.
Well, when the program was first announced about having a UTM, they actually put out a solicitation and said, hey, we're looking for pilots. We're looking for industry. We're looking for public safety. We're looking for government services, all to participate. Just put your name in the hat, okay? And this way, propose to us how you would provide services. Right, so that's basically what you came up with here.
Okay,
take care, Paul. That's basically why you see the diversity of players in this game.
Well, isn't this all necessary though? Because
yes, it is.
Yeah, like everything is going in stages. So right now they're just preparing for the next stage, because in the next 3 years, it's going to be a whole different ball game up there.
And believe me, when you turn around and you say, hey, you know, I'm a little perturbed because they're going to know who I am, where I'm flying from, things like that. If you're a commercial flyer that's going to leverage beyond visual line of sight, your aircraft is actually going to have to be certified too.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
It's not going to be I bought it off the shelf.
Your aircraft
it's going to have to be
around that aircraft is going to have to be certified.
Inspected, maintained, logged.
Not only that,
of FSC audits, the whole thing.
I think a lot of people's beef, especially hobbyists, is they don't care if authorities know, police know. They just don't want other people within the public to know who they are.
Well, that's and that's what I think some of the misconceptions.
So if they tracking your drone in the sky, I mean, there has to be some kind of checks and balances, right? You can't just go Best Buy, buy a drone and go fly around a building. You don't know who it is. So they're going to have to, as this hobby and the business of drones grows, these are things that got to go into play. Unfortunately, this is not like a third world country that you could just run around and do whatever you want, you know, and there's safety issues as well, obviously. So, but the thing is, public to public, like I don't want anybody to roll up in a park and just pull me up and see, you know, where I'm at and where I live, possibly through my ID number and all that stuff. I think that's the bigger problem.
That'll never come to fruition. They've already made it very clear that
it's been discussed where this is no different than the license plate
on your car.
That's what it's supposed to be, and that's what it's supposed to be. But
that is correct.
Nothing's written yet.
That's the actual intent.
Right.
That's the way it's written. That's the actual intent. Now, of course, the media and our sense to hype things as much as we can. Okay, we've made it out to be that grandma down the corner is going to be able to call 311 and say, "Hey, I see Johnny on my app, and he's flying illegally from his front porch." I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, even if she can, to my understanding as to how that would play out, is that if Johnny's drone is registered, Johnny's legally flying within that airspace.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is on an app, okay, what I believe you'll see some kind of legend that determines what that device up in the sky is. If it's a drone for recreational use, it'll be identified as a recreational drone.
Right.
That's the way I see it. I don't think you're going to get much more than that from
not him, but law enforcement. Yes, I understand that.
Yeah, law enforcement will be able to say, okay, yeah, here's the registry number, and by the way, here's the owner's information, and okay, now I got to take an extra step, and now I want to see telemetry. Okay, now believe me, that kind of stuff is tracked. When somebody brings up your plate number now, or runs you in the NCIC system, they can't do this stuff casually anymore. There's a watchdog going, hey, why do you need that? Is that in the performance of your regular duties, or is that, what are you doing with that?
Right, are you doing surveillance? What's happening here?
But that's why to go on the run now, you got to get rid of your car, your phone, your bank cards.
Oh, you got to get rid of and those bank cards now. You notice the bank cards have the little waves on them. Like you can just hold the bank card up to a reader now. It'll identify itself. Yeah, buddy, you ain't getting away with it.
You got to get rid of everything and walk through the bushes.
And then all the businesses are going cashless. So even if you've been stuffing it under the mattress, you're screwed.
People don't realize how advanced we are technology-wise. When they started putting those little SIM chips on those cards, that is a power supply along with a little Wi-Fi antenna that can broadcast that card's information by just walking through a doorway. And
That's right.
The same thing is going to happen with drones. You're going to pull out your drone, you're going to go to fly, and it's going to tell you, hey, you don't have authorization to fly here, or you can fly here within reason. You've been doing it with Stevie. How long have you been doing it here in New York already?
What?
If you think about it, you've been going to a place and checking it out to see if you could fly there or not.
Yeah. I do the preliminary.
As you power up your drone, it tells you, hey, buddy, you can't fly here.
Yeah.
Well,
I look at Air Map, Kitty Hawk, and before you fly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I answer my couple of questions.
You were flying the little spot we took you to.
Yeah. But
so the people would say you can't fly there. But
right.
You can.
But, I get that. I'm not really known for photography per se in the air. I do mostly video, right? So, but I've been taking pictures lately, and I got some pictures that actually got some attention, right, on social media. I put it in a couple of groups, but this is the first time I got drone police on the chat, on the comments, and I'm like,
Which one was that?
I'll tell you later, but
I can't wait to hear.
And I'm like, I used all the apps. I know it was all clear. I didn't use any of the pictures from any of the places where we were at. Not that we did anything wrong in those places, but I'm saying it was a different spot. And it was one dude out of like 40 comments, right? And he was like, I don't think you're supposed to fly there, blah 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 blah. And I replied once.
It's always
but they always start. You know what's funny about drone police? They always start, I'm not trying to be drone police or nothing. And then once you see that first sentence, you already know they already off the deep
Stevie,
end.
The sirens.
Yeah,
Keep
you
the
realize,
hands on the steering wheel.
you gotta realize most drone police, Stevie, don't even live in the state you live in.
He doesn't. I clicked on his page and he was, I don't know, some one horse
Somewhere in
town.
West Bubble F.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
he
a
knows all about
population of
drones from
12.
television.
That's
Yeah.
true. He knows about drones from television. He knows about the drone laws.
Listen,
Hey, Adrian Mateo,
Must be
how are you?
must be a member of Five
great.
Boroughs, huh?
I'm not. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But
It'd be nice, Tom.
It was. I'm not really good at the social media thing because I tend to tune out. Like I'll post something, I'll show love, and I'll just totally sign out of everything and spend the rest of my day doing whatever I do. I'm that type of person. So I'm not really good at the social media because the people that are good at social media, they stay on, they follow things.
You talking about the person that walks down the street like this?
Yeah. I'm not. I'm not that dude. So I saw the comment and I replied to it respectfully. I just told him, listen, I checked this, I checked that, blah, blah, blah. Everything was clear. I had a ceiling in the area and I stayed way below the ceiling. I didn't need to. I mean, who needs to go 400 feet?
Like we did at the train bridge.
We had 200 feet. We didn't need 200 feet at that train bridge. But I had 400 feet where I was at. All the apps said that I was good. I took the shot, whatever. I didn't stay too long because it was crazy windy. And that was it. But I replied once, and then he replies more. But now you're saying you started the conversation, I'm not trying to be drone police. But then you continue. So you are like, don't start your conversation that way.
One reply. That's it. Move on.
And you know, whatever. I guess it comes with the territory. Like I said, I don't get a lot of burn when it comes to photos. You know, I take decent photos, but I finally had a photo that actually people liked. And I get a drone cop in the comments, and it's crazy.
That's it. Shut it down. No more photos for you.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick to my video. I get burned on the videos, but it seems like the videos are more like you can see how many people viewed it.
Dude, you're just gonna have to smash the damn camera.
Well, hey,
let's see. Right now, there's one thumbs down on this whole conversation. Okay, so I honestly think that's Lawrence getting it out of the way before we keep it coming in the room. Okay,
I should do that, right? Get them
just take the wind right out of their sails. Okay?
It happens. You know, on our really good live streams, depending on who comes in and gets acknowledged and or ignored, will dictate how many thumbs down there are. But it doesn't bother me because it technically takes the effort that it takes you to come in. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at, Hermit, and I've never done this before, but I've been checking out the live stream statistics. And
are you in the control room?
I'm in the control room.
Right.
Yes, I am in the control room. I'm looking at statistics here. It tells me the chat rate at which people are chatting. So
don't show them that you can see who put the thumbs down now.
I see a big.
Don't show them that screen.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they can leave the thumbs down. We don't know who it is that did it.
Yeah. It's pretty predictable.
But you know,
it's
that's
pretty
crazy.
predictable. Hey, Newfound Drone Productions. How are you, sir?
It comes with the territory, right? It comes with the territory.
Yeah.
So the more attention you get, the more you're gonna attract the thumbs down, right? Like or negative
Absolutely.
thing. So when you're not getting no love, and people are not paying attention to your pictures and video, you're clear. You will not get the negativity. You will not get the thumbs down.
Stevie, this is what you got to learn when you're doing live streams or I used to do internet radio, right? You look at numbers. Everything's logistics. Right now it says there are 22 concurrent viewers. In the chat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's including all us on the panel when you do type, okay? So those 20-something people are people who are either lurking, they're writing notes. These guys are talking about this. We can talk about this later on during the week. It's all kinds of crazy stuff.
Flipping back and forth.
Go with it.
What's that? It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. And
I look at it this way: we're here. We're able to share information with each other. Other people get to benefit from it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's an open conversation. And the more people that avail themselves of it.
I just wish the lurkers would come in and say hi, shit, bye. And I feel like
they're introverts.
I feel like someone's looking at me through my window, you know. And
keep your shirt on then.
Tom,
we'll get your robe.
I don't give a shit. What'd you say? Get a longer robe?
Go get your robe and come back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Get
Okay.
yourself appropriate. You got
Okay.
company.
Quick question, real quick. I have to ask Justin this because Justin put this Franken drone bird together for me. Justin, did you set up any switches or anything in Betaflight? I saw you had angle mode and arm. And for some reason, I'm not seeing it in the receiver. I did bind it. To the radio through Agent X, but for some reason, the receiver is not being shown. So I'm gonna look at something. I just wanted to know if
What do you mean the receiver?
I didn't hear you.
No, I said, what do you mean the receiver?
Oh no, the receivers, everything's bound. Everything's bound. It's just in the receiver tab in Betaflight. You know how
you gotta go into the Agent X and you gotta change all the outputs and stuff. You gotta change the output to 12, then you have to go to channel 8.
You know what? I didn't do that in Agent X. That's what the problem is. Okay, thank you, man. Thank you. See, that always works. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray, what's up? Man?
Welcome back. Unmute yourself, dude. We had to mute you because we had background noise there. Rigor mortis.
Shots fired.
How are you, sir?
I said, Lawrence, you're still at it, huh? You still programming the road? You flying in the buildings? What you doing?
Oh, look, check this out. No. I'm good.
I have a question.
Justin built a drone for me with some LED lights on it. I gave him some parts and said, put it together.
Oh, okay.
Now, that was a while back. Now I'm doing stuff like this.
I got a question after he's done showing off his new stuff.
Make sure you get it out.
Because it's an FPV question.
I'm actually doing the work myself, Ray.
Oh, that's nice. What's that?
Okay.
8-inch?
I just put the flight controller in.
12-inch.
Soldered the motors on this morning, so I'm getting there. I'm not at the level Justin is, but I'm getting there. And the best way to do it is to start from scratch.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, motors are on, flight controllers on, all the parts are here. I have everything I need. It's just a matter of putting everything together and finding the time to freaking do it.
All right, go ahead, Stevie.
That's what it comes down to.
Go, Stevie.
Did anybody see the video of the FPV pilot who dived the Empire State Building?
No.
Yeah. There's somebody dived, went all the way to the top of the Empire State and went down.
You know what? I think I did see
You know what?
Just recently. It had to be recently. It's not in any of the groups. I heard it's on YouTube.
TV, send me the link. I want to see if I noticed you. We may know him, Justin.
Let me see. It was they spoke about it on one of the other YouTubes, and I'm gonna send you the link. Give me a second while you guys talk.
Send me that link in Messenger, in fact.
All right. I'll send it to you on the Facebook joint.
Yeah, because I need to look in. I need to look into
I saw that and I'm saying, damn, can we know this guy? Because this guy is rogue.
Listen, I'm telling you, if they're flying FPV and doing stuff like that,
I heard he did it a few times.
I'm 80% sure, and I'm sure Justin can agree with this. I'm 80% sure. If we don't know him, we know him through someone. That's all I'm going to say. The views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel and or in the chat.
People are really you see the people they socialize with?
Listen, just because.
And then they wonder why we got remote ID.
Yeah. You hear that? You hear that, Justin?
I do. I'm listening.
You hear that, Justin? You hear how they're talking?
Well, I ain't worried about them guys. They ain't got cojones like the other guys. So to me, they flying camera drones with speed. That's what I'm saying. They ain't doing all that other stuff. Them niggas doing a couple zip. That's it. To me, that's nothing. I mean, I ain't disrespecting y'all, but what them guys is doing is totally like some other stuff, man.
Listen. I'm not trying to go to that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see them two doing that.
Right.
Trust me.
Right.
Nigga just laughing.
Right.
All right. It was posted.
When you look at the first step, right? You see eggs in there.
Lawrence.
Eventually, they break out of those shells, and they kind of move around the nest a little bit. They eat when their mother comes and bring them food to eat. And then they start hopping around the nest. And then after a while, she tells them, it's time.
They go.
And then after a while, they're diving through canyons and stuff like that. And off
they ain't got the breast milk no more. No more breast milk.
Check your message, Lawrence.
Okay.
I just sent it.
Okay.
No,
check
I don't
this
think
out.
those two will do that, but
Nah, they ain't doing
Justin
that. Yeah,
and I fly responsibly.
You know how the
we'll
company
always
you
fly
keep, right?
responsibly.
You know how they say, right? When you was younger, right? Your mother and them tell you about the company you keep.
Yeah,
well, he's spinning. He's spinning.
I'm looking. I'm looking at it right. I'm checking it out right now because where he's
3 weeks ago
from,
he
I'm
posted
gonna tell
that.
you this. I'm going to tell you this right now. Just to get up there, he has to have a decent battery.
Yeah.
Okay.
He went to the top.
I know people that die in buildings and don't have the proper batteries. Okay, and if you don't have the power to pull out of a 1G, 2G, 3, 4G turn, you're going to smash into the ground. Yeah, he did it.
That's 1,600, almost 1,700 feet.
And if you notice, the time of day is crack early in the morning.
I'll send it to Herman right now.
Yeah, this is crack early in the morning. We cannot show this on this live stream only because
where you at, Ray?
Basically, we don't condone this type of flying here in New York City.
No way.
You know,
that's reckless, crazy.
Which one of your friends is this, Lauren? Which one of your friends? How your mother would tell you? Which one of your friends is this?
This was done on August. This was uploaded on August
3 weeks ago. Yeah. It's new. That's what I'm saying. It's fresh. I send it to you too, Ray and Herman.
This is early in the morning, and
on
you
your
see
Facebook.
how he was laying back on the car.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you too. I'm just looking you up right now.
Back on the car, Stevie.
Huh?
It's because he was laying back on the car like this because he had to direct his antenna straight in that direction.
He is out of control.
I'm looking at his camera angle.
Justin, I got you too.
And the ledge.
Yeah. Anyway, if you guys want to see that particular chat,
Justin, Tom, I send everybody in the panel. I believe. Hold up, I got
Herman. You see how we're getting flooded?
Ray, yeah, I got everybody.
No, guys, this is why you don't talk about the chats, the dislikes. If you look at concurrent viewers, right?
57.
Yeah, 59 concurrent viewers. You know damn well there ain't no 59 people out there.
He buzzed a patrol car. Folks, he buzzed a patrol car.
Thumbs up button.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up.
Exactly.
If you're 57 strong.
Yeah, that's okay. Go ahead. Hey, what's up, Corey? How are you?
You heard? Lawrence, you watch the video more, you're going to see he buzzes a police car.
I saw.
Yeah, he goes by the RMP.
I saw. It's. You want to know what? If I don't personally know him, I probably know someone who knows him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. New York, we have a community. We kind of tight, but look at this dude. I see his arm. I said his arm don't look familiar.
No, I already saw dude's face, and I'm not going to say nothing.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole. I'm gonna watch it.
No, I watched it when I saw.
You saw John's face?
At the end of the video, he's leaning back on a car like this. He's leaning up straight at the top of the Empire State Building on the back of a car.
With a tiny whoop. Wow.
Yo, this dude is out of control. What bugged me out when he started doing the
keep
twirling.
In mind, Stevie, you have people that plan trips to New York to try stuff like this. This is why, if you had aeroscope, by the time he got back down on the ground, they would be pulling up to him.
Yeah, that's why.
Stevie, those were rental plates, Stevie.
Yeah.
Stolen plates.
Yeah, see.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about this. I heard about it and I was bugging out. I was like, no way.
No, I didn't.
Murdered our city.
I didn't, which lets you know I don't hang around this certain group of people.
You know, it was featured in one of the drone news shows.
Wow.
Oh man, this dude is out of control. Oh, he has his buddies there too.
The thing is that he's using a brushed drone.
Oh, I don't know that dude. I saw the dude. He doesn't look familiar at all.
Exactly, Big Matt.
No, he doesn't look familiar.
Eventually, they'll get tired. See, what happens is by boosting your numbers up, they're hoping YouTube will say, this guy's creating bots. he's got someone sitting on a computer opening up web pages of his live stream. And what'll happen is eventually they'll get bored and go away. But I appreciate the effort. I mean, it's almost as if someone's trying to give me the same numbers Spy Borough has.
Now, the views of
the views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight. Okay.
There we go. Disclaimer.
All right, there we go. Now.
So if you look at this dude's YouTube page.
Oh, what a fool.
He's got a considerable number of
questionable films.
Well, I'm not saying I'm the drone police or anything.
You want to know what, Tom? You want to know what, Tom? It's quite all right because Facebook is already doing it. They're filtering the music. They're filtering flights like this. There were a series of flights that happened during the peak of COVID that people were posting on YouTube, and YouTube did take a few of them down.
Really?
Okay. Now, considering this guy only has 150 subscribers, lets you know a lot that he's not really commonly known in New York. And if someone was diving the Empire State Building, the FPV community would hear about it somewhere. You know, so my
Ray,
thing is,
did you see this dude at the barbecue today?
Huh?
Did you see this dude at the barbecue today?
What dude?
This guy right here in the
Hold
YouTube.
on.
I just flew the Empire State Building.
I looked like him when I was sitting in that chair.
Hey, Tom.
He brought
He was eating some Doritos, bro. I saw him eating Doritos.
Hey,
at the
Tom,
barbecue.
Licking his fingers. Yeah, he was
check this out,
licking his
Tom. Right now, this is why
Oh my God.
I know he's not a popular person, because the average FPV guy doesn't really show their face if they're doing something illegal. And right here, dude's laying on the car and with the silhouette. Now, with some...
It says his name. His name is here.
Yeah. He puts his name out there, too, besides his handle.
His government name is there.
Duh.
Wow. Wow.
Can you say special?
Well, you said you knew him.
No.
Bet you know him.
Nope. I said there's a possibility.
He's
I
not
might
that
know
far.
him.
I mean, he's posted some Brooklyn stuff.
Oh, so he's
about 8 months ago, some Hudson Valley stuff a year ago.
What do we know that he knows? You know, like if he's not in the circles, right? He doesn't look familiar. We've been to all sides of this drone world community, whatever you want to call it.
You mean we haven't blocked his signal at Flushing Meadows?
Yeah, probably.
No?
But what I'm saying is, I'm not defending him, but he probably doesn't even know. You know, like he's probably so out of the loop. He's probably just a really good pilot. You think?
You can't use that as an excuse anymore. I refuse to accept it.
Stop.
All right.
So,
living under a rock?
I'm leaving it alone.
Stevie.
He got 50 views. 50 views.
You didn't even sound convincing.
We just gave him 5.
We just gave him 5.
We gave him 5.
Right? Or 6.
Yeah.
Whoever else was on the live stream went on it too. You know.
Probably.
Yeah, right. He's probably.
They've already searched for it.
He's probably like, yo, I'm going viral.
Yeah.
Look,
he's probably wondering.
You know, during the lockdown, with everybody who was flying to Manhattan, my point of view was there was nobody else there. Okay, but now the city's getting back to you know, people walking around and people being around. You can't. It's just too dense there. Too dense.
That's what FPV drone.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Tom, are you done after that statement?
Which the FPV statement? That wasn't mine. That was
the
somebody
views and
else's
opinions
statement.
heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the panel tonight. Understanding, I understand what you're saying by, even though the city was shut down,
doesn't make it right.
It was still unacceptable.
Well, there's still a law on the books from the 40s. Okay,
It was still nice.
Okay, just because. Here's Sean.
It was still nice though.
How are you? Geeks Vaughn is on his way in, guys.
Nice.
I spent a lot of nights out.
You know what you're doing.
Like you said, Ray, you ain't got to worry about me or Justin doing nothing like that.
No, I definitely know that.
And if you did see a video, you'd know it wasn't us.
Hey, rigor mortis, I'm going to be looking for that video when you dive the Vancouver Needle.
Ooh.
Gives me a reason to dive the
sure.
Vancouver Needle. Wow. They got a 250 hit sub 250 in the works that will carry a split to the 150. What's up, Sean? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I was hoping you would have came in here to get in on
Good
our
job.
unmanned
Good
traffic
job.
management conversation, because I would be interested if they to know if they were. I know that they were doing testing over in the UK, but are you familiar with anything in your area along that same level?
Yeah,
Sean,
there's
what a
still a
long
little
day.
bit. There's still a bit of a battle between the EASA, which is the European Safety Agency, and the FAA as far as which system they'll adopt. So there's a bit of a race going on at the moment to see who gets to market first, essentially. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's so far off at the moment that it's
Yeah, I agree.
It really is. I mean, we all have to remember as well that we haven't even got. If we relate this to Tesla and autonomous cars, we haven't even got to the point that halted them, and that's accidents and tragedy, etc., being around. We've got to get to the point where these things are being tested fully and are actually in the hands of their end users, i.e. the Walmarts and people like that, and doing regular deliveries. And then we have one drop out of the sky and hit someone's car, that will halt it for another 2 years. And the same as Tesla's findings. So it's a long road ahead of us, and hopefully, as long as they put it together correctly, there'll be obviously space for us.
Hey, Sean,
you want to hear this is still an information gathering phase.
Hey, Sean,
that's what
this
is.
Hear the going joke that Herman taught me about Tesla?
Go on then.
If you're ever riding down the street and you see a car on fire, it's probably a Tesla.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
The rolling batteries.
Very good.
I'm just saying, people are buying these Teslas. They're driving the car for 10 minutes to the local store and back. And then an hour after the car has been shut down and off, it burns down their garage.
The heat.
I know you guys seen those
that
stories.
Intense heat out west.
Yeah,
it's causing some of them to.
Well,
there's
see,
like there's bridges in New York that you can't even drive a Tesla over.
Well, you know what? That's a crock of bull, because I saw a Tesla on the Brooklyn Bridge, and Tesla vehicles are supposed to be banned from the Brooklyn Bridge.
Why?
Stop.
From what I understand, it had to do with some weight requirement.
That wasn't a Tesla. That was a Toyota. It looked like a Tesla.
That was a Toyota with a Flowmaster.
Do you realize in this country,
it's already met the requirements for the roadway?
Guys, there are tractor trailers, large rigs, 18-wheelers that are moving around this country with no drivers in them, no safety monitors in them. Okay, and you're worried about a Tesla across the Brooklyn Bridge? You're lucky you can walk across the Brooklyn Bridge quicker than you can drive. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why.
That traffic might be the reason why the car blew up. Shoot.
Listen, all I know is there's an alarming amount of Tesla vehicles. At least this was before the firmware update. Now I sound like DJ.
Oh, I get it. It says it's too heavy.
Yes. It's technically they did try to keep Teslas off the Brooklyn Bridge, saying that the roadbed could not handle it. As far as
have you seen the size of New Yorkers these days? Okay. Do we really think it's just Tesla we got to worry about?
Hold on a second.
Okay, really?
Hold on a second.
Stop.
You know what you need to do, Lawrence? Seriously, that is a bunch of Mamba Jahambo. Go back and look at the history of the subway system in New York City, and look at the trolleys and trains coming across that Brooklyn Bridge. Stop.
Listen. All I know.
You
tell me about a car?
Cars have gotten much lighter, so the offsets there.
You get a regular car, just a regular car or van with 4 women in there, 4 people with that COVID weight on it. They over that Tesla weight. What's the difference?
You and Tom doing the same thing to the size of New York.
I'm just saying, you only come out of this as a a hunk, a chunk, or a monk, right?
That's what they say.
Come on now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, Sean,
Okay.
I wanted to tell you, very good pre-spin up live stream.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, long day.
You
Long
should be
day,
the
Sean.
opening. You should be the opening act for drone shows. Seriously, because the way you did your live stream was really good.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes,
It was a lot of fun. It was a bit stressful, but it was a lot of fun.
I didn't think
You had it all going on though. You had the crawler going. You had it all going. The timer, everything.
Yeah, well, you know, when Kelly gave me that kind of opportunity, I wanted to try and make sure that we put something on that would engage people, but support the show as well. Not be about my channel, but be about the show that was coming. So, and yeah, we had some fun, and obviously Felix from Quadcopter Guide was kind enough to pop on as well. So that helped things along, which was awesome.
Yeah, because
great production quality.
By then, you must have been a zombie. Because I heard that you got virtually no sleep that day.
Well, in actual fact, Thursday night, did you see the interview with Troy from Quad Labs?
Yeah.
I actually recorded that at Thursday night, 3 a.m. my time, coming into Friday.
Wow.
I actually didn't go to bed Thursday night at all. And then I thought, actually, that'll make me sleep Friday night, because obviously I'll be a little bit nervous about the show and stuff. And then I just, for some reason, you know, when you're so tired, you can't sleep. I know that sounds about as Irish as my heritage, but
there you go.
I got to that point where I was just a bit restless. So I have to admit I was very tired, but it was like 2:30 in the afternoon start for me. So it was pretty reasonable for me. So. But it was a lot of fun, and I thank everybody.
That was a big production thing. You went Ken Herron with that shit.
You stayed on through spin up too.
Yeah, but Sean's stuff is always top notch, man. I got to give it to him. Like everything you do, it's just at that level, you know. And I really enjoy watching your videos, and I could tell that you put so much work. The way you speak, and it's like a high level news show. What you would see on cable or something like that.
The inserts from his sidekick. I mean, all of those just like dropped right in place.
His production is top notch.
Yeah, great production value. Great production value.
And I love.
I actually wish it wasn't sometimes, but yeah.
And I love the fact that you can get news about the states that we don't even get here. Which leads me to believe I need to start watching international news from your country more to see what's happening over here.
The secret behind that is I've just become registered as a journalist, so it means I'm able to get into some of the feeds.
Get the releases,
and I'm able to access if something happens with a local police force, I can actually ring that police force and speak to their media affairs people and that type of thing. So it's opening a lot of doors. Which is handy.
You know, I found out from Sean that the guy who flew over Hart Island got his drone back, and they dropped the charges. And I know so many New York pilots. The first time I seen one of those notifications that his video was up. I watched it and I was like, great. That's great news for all of us, because they just let it go, you know. And
they actually dismissed it, didn't they? So it was actually
well, there's several others they're gonna probably walk away from also, because right now they don't want it actually being challenged if they can get away with it.
Yes.
Unless the city council, of course, changes their mind for a commercial purpose. But we'll have to see.
It seems like in New York there seems to be a bit of a thing at the moment where they're using the untested rules as enforcement tools. So they're using it to say, hey, I'm going to arrest you and charge you on this, so I can stop what you're doing right now. But but we've actually no intention of taking you to court, because we might lose. Basically.
Well, again, all they can do at this point, because it's administrative code, all they can do is confiscate your property and issue you a desk appearance ticket, which is what they did. And then the National Press Photographers Association jumped right out in front of it, and they've been petitioning for a while that we have to get rid of some of these antiquated, localized requirements that don't hold on the books anymore.
But Tom, when someone with the white shirt from New York City Department of Parks comes to me and quotes me a rule that was put into effect during tethered planes, you kind of
realize this law took place immediately after World War II, and this got put in place because there was a thought that people were going to start having heliports and everything in their backyards. Okay, and in fact that wasn't
And
materializing.
what's wrong with that?
And then remember we had the incident on Pan Am building.
Yes.
Okay, where a landing pad at several hundred feet up. Yeah, you don't have a wind problem up there, no issue at all. Okay, and that caused additional fear. So this administrative law has been able to remain on the books for you're talking about 80+ years.
Yeah, a couple of people that I've been speaking to recently here and in the States regarding regulations, their thought process, and these are people within the industry that are working at the next level, as in the next generation of things to come, and they believe that the reason the FAA and the CAA over here aren't stepping in with more cases and aren't cleaning things up regulation wise is because there's so much new regulation to come. There's just no point, because these things will obviously take a while to go to court, then they have to go to appeal, and actually by that time all of these new regulations are going to be announced and will start coming in, which will wipe out all of this localized stuff anyway. So there's so much change coming that it's almost not worth fighting what's in place now.
There's a cost.
Have a great evening.
Cost involved there. There's definitely money at play here, because you're right. I mean, it's a futile cost to take, especially if those regulations are going to change.
Exactly.
But and that's the big that's really what has to happen here. There has to be an umbrella, so you can move from jurisdiction to jurisdiction and not be caught in this quagmire.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, the new EASA regulations coming in will mean that Europeans can fly in Germany, France, Italy, all under the same regulations with the same registration number, and there's no issue there with the same remote ID, although it's not actually remote ID, it's electronic awareness thing. But it means also that all the police forces across Europe only have to tell their officers one set of rules. So I'm actually very excited about the new regulations coming in.
Unless you're in the deep South United States, where they make their own rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the flip side
in Europe with Greece and Portugal and things like that actually haven't even adopted some of the rules that are in place now. Yeah. The flip side of that is for the operator, the hobbyist, the commercial flyer. Now there's one set of rules to learn. Okay. Exactly.
Which means there should be higher compliance with those rules. So that's a good side of it as well.
Yeah, and I just love with the EASA as well. They've carved the airspace up into three lumps of airspace, and then each airspace is lumped into three as well. And then there's 5 classes of drones, and depending on which class of drone you want to fly in which airspace, you need a certain level of qualification.
Certain levels.
And that's all they care about. They don't care if you're there because you're a multimillionaire that owns the latest DJI Matrice, or whether you're a commercial guy filming a wedding. The new rules won't care about that. All they'll care about is the safety and risk assessment side of things, which I think.
Well, Sean, look at what we already had in place. I mean, if you want to ride a bicycle, you can ride a bicycle. You don't have to get a permit. Yep. If you want to ride a scooter, it depends on the local area. If you want to ride a motorcycle, then you have to have a special endorsement. You want to drive a car, you got to get a learner's permit.
Right.
Now, if you want to drive a lorry, a truck, then you need additional classifications and buses and so forth. So, the same should hold true here. Yeah. I look at it this way. Our FAA and your counterpart have kept our airspaces relatively safe. Okay. And without what they've had in place, forget about it. Okay. I don't think the aviation industry would have advanced to the where they are today if it wasn't for those regulations in place.
Although there's another side to that, which is also why UTM is going to take a while, and why UTM is going to be something that will be not hard fought, but certainly hard tested by the FAA. Is because actually it wasn't that long ago before the aviation was the Wild West, and you were having airliners crashing because a mechanic had a bad day and that type of thing. It's not that it's only a few decades ago. So in generational terms, it isn't that long ago. And now they've got this amazing system that is touch wood, very, very safe for general aviation. As long as you're not a small plane, it seems at the moment. Then they're very concerned about bringing anything else into that might take them back a few decades and suddenly become the Wild West again.
Well, yeah, we're going from the barnstormer days to AI operated airspace.
Exactly. And I think, you know, I mentioned Tesla at the beginning, and I think for Tesla, the automated car side of things, it has been a huge learning curve for a lot of authorities, and they're on notice a little bit now. Everyone was sort of, oh, Tesla's the answer. This is amazing, and actually, it did go wrong very critically.
Well, the biggest problem with autonomous vehicles are non-autonomous vehicles.
Yes.
Okay. The integration part is the part we're going to struggle with.
Semis.
Yeah.
Seems to be the things
therein lies the problem. They told us this when we started learning how to program computers: garbage in, garbage out. Now, we all know autonomous vehicles, planes, they have helicopters, they have all of these devices that were manned at one time that can now become autonomous. And autonomous isn't the issue, like Tom says. It's that guy saying, yo, there's a car driving itself. That's the problem. You know, is once you pass someone in a car, you saw you saw the Tesla thing where the dude was reclined. He was not half asleep. He was reclined fully back like this at 60 miles an hour.
The problem with that lies is this, and I know most of you are going to disagree with me. The day you give that up is the beginning of giving up almost everything that you do.
Yes, and the same thing applies.
I don't know about you, but to put food on this table, I got to work.
Yeah.
And when I start letting this technology and all of this stuff start taking jobs away, I don't know about where you live at.
Although
wait a second. Wait.
The Amazon factories with all their autonomy have actually produced more jobs than the old style.
More jobs than the old style.
33,000 people. Amazon.
I see where Herman's going.
But let's look at the irony here.
But there are protections in place, aren't there? There are protections in place.
Hold on. I see where Herman is going with this, where the autonomous industry is taking jobs away. And it's because of Herman that I don't go to the kiosk in McDonald's. Because now if you go to McDonald's, there's a kiosk and they want you to prick and pay for it and go pick up your food.
2 to 3 jobs.
That's getting rid of the national.
So you start thinking that way, it'll be 3 here, it'll be 3 there, it'll be 3 there. No.
It's already, you go into, first off,
I'm not doing
you go into Home Depot. Why? Because you're going to fix your house up yourself. Yeah, you're the expert.
I know
so
now
you're going to go there, right? And now you're going to go find somebody in an apron to help you. Forget it. You're not finding that. Okay. Then you got to go check yourself out. So now not only do you have to be the electrician, the carpenter, the self-help guru, but now you got to be the cashier and the bagger too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's all about employee insurance, and it's a lot of money to insure one person.
I get it.
On a person that machine.
Yeah.
I get
Absolutely. So
but
they're putting
they smart meters.
So one of those
the meter readers.
Well, yeah, one of those self-help checkouts usually puts 3 people out of a job.
Yeah,
pure and simple.
Yeah, there was a fairly large scale study. I think Harvard carried it out, and they did actually find that the amount of jobs that the automated future world will bring actually does start to outweigh even the jobs that we have now.
Erode,
because of all of the background. Actually, you end up. A fully autonomous future would actually have more employment, basically.
Harvard put this study.
You could argue at better levels, etc. as well.
Yeah, but you need to start with education, right? Without the educational foundation, you don't bring those people over into those other industries that are needed to support the automation. And that's where the gap exists here in this country, at least.
Yeah, the issue will be
major gap.
For instance, at the moment, Amazon have a policy that they actually don't want their warehouses fully automated because they want the trust of a human brain in there, a shift supervisor saying, yes, this is running correctly and this is happening. And they still want that. So they still want the people in there. The problem will come in those situations when you get another company as large as Amazon I'm sure it will happen one day, that actually loves automation or actually grows because of automation. And yes, that's when you do start to lose jobs.
Yeah. It's a balance we're gonna have to dance around. Absolutely.
It'll be the police.
You know what's funny?
The military.
I purposely don't go to the kiosk because the girl usually comes from behind the counter and says, "Sir, may I help you?" And I go, "No." And I act completely computer illiterate. I say, "I came in to purchase my food from a human." And that's
Lawrence is a social experiment.
But Herman got me doing that though. Seriously. It's the first time and here's what pissed me off.
It used to be about $5 to eat.
Hold on, Herman. The one time
$7, you want me to order it myself too?
But Herman, the one time that I did use the freaking kiosk, they got the order wrong.
You probably fat fingered it. It was probably between your feet and the screen was probably where the problem was. Okay.
Well, you see, I was like this with my nubs.
Now, I can actually
my nubs.
Put a burger and a fish on the same bun.
Yeah.
I can actually bring that conversation back round to drones actually, and I think where we don't need to worry about AI. We don't need to worry about what automation is going to do for us and everything else like that, because it's going to happen anyway. But this is where actually the arguments where, and I see a lot of people saying, oh, we should, don't worry about Chinese-made drones, it's not a problem. But actually with these new drones that are being built in America, that's what needs to happen more. We need to get the systems being built in Europe and in America, so the jobs that the new
localized economy.
Yeah, and even if these things cost more now for a little while, streamlining will happen. Next generation education will happen, and will be just as cheap as the Chinese in producing these things. But then the automation will be here, but the jobs will be here as well, and that's really important.
You're absolutely right, Sean. But who's going to do it? Because I don't see any of these. Because I've
industry,
seen a lot of
Herman.
Here in the United States that are building drones, but they're not building what we're all running out to buy.
But as I keep saying, the cake, you have to look at the future cake. We are the hobbyists, the prosumer drones are a tiny slice of the huge commercial cake. So if you're creating a company now and you want to gain investors like Skydio are and other companies are, those investors putting in the hundreds of millions do not want to hear about the next Mavic 3. They don't care.
Oh, no, I totally understand.
They want the next firefighting drone, the next taxi drone. That's what they want.
Because everything that we report on has nothing to do with the consumer drones, and this is what a lot of guys.
No. But it's trickled down. It's trickled down, okay?
But it can't trickle down if there aren't American prosumer drones.
If there aren't, well, see, that's it, and I agree with you, Sean.
That's the issue.
The real issue here is, and I think there was a bit of a wake-up call. You have to start looking at where were the silver linings, if there are any, out of the COVID emergency, the crisis we've been facing worldwide, is that we allowed those localized environments, those ecosystems, to be dispersed. And now became reliant on single points of failure, okay? Just like in a network, we went from that big flat network to a meshed environment that's self-healing, okay? and that's what we got to get back to. So Sean, you're 100% on the mark there. When we talk about what's going to be built out, yes, there's a few things that are lacking in this country, and that's I'll bring it back to the education, the STEM, the STEAM training, right?
Yeah,
that has to really be brought back in, because in order to sustain that, I mean, this goes as far as even pharmaceuticals. You think about all the compounds that to create that medication you're forced to take every day, okay, while it might be all pressed here in the grand old USA, all those compounds, the majority are coming from Southeast Asia, okay? So you don't control that. And if that supply chain gets interrupted, the impact is acute, okay? So these are the things that we have to bring back, and have your service industry still continues to be built around this layer, but a successful society is an extremely diverse society across all aspects.
Sean, what needs to happen is the United States and the UK, and I stress the United States and UK because you rarely see this issue anywhere else, need to stop calling fucking Uber and Grubhub to deliver, to drive them somewhere. And people need to start cooking their food and doing things for themselves, and that'll transition over. When I grew up, my mother sat at the dinner table with me and helped me with my homework. I didn't tell my mother I was going to the bedroom to do my homework and come out an hour later.
The parents don't know the homework now, bro. Sorry.
That's true.
The parents don't know the homework.
That's a big problem, right?
Yeah,
that's a big problem.
I get what you're saying, Lon, but the parents don't know the homework no more, bro. Trust me.
The kids are more IT savvy than a lot of the parents.
And you know what? And I realize also, because I run a nonprofit for almost 30 years, a lot of these kids these days, they are visual learners. They can't read a damn book. They can't understand nothing in the book.
They can't tell a time on a clock.
Because society has changed.
Yeah, but that's change with them.
They can't tell time on a clock with hands.
That's up.
We got told about our parents sharing an apple across everybody in the family because that's what you did. Okay.
No, but that's up to the parents.
We looked at our parents and said, "Hey, you know,
I'm gonna tell you something.
I agree with you, Stevie. You got to be
you gotta be on
with your kids."
Because with our kids, we read to these kids every time they went to sleep. Now they read on their own at this point. We don't even force a book on them. They actually, my son will sit down with a book before he goes to sleep.
That's awesome.
Every night on his own. I don't have to even bring it up. And
I had to read a newspaper every day, man.
When we sit down for dinner, no electronics are allowed. We all sit down together and no electronics, no TV on, no distractions. We just sit there, catch up on whatever's going on.
Well, look,
and then because this world is crazy enough, right? Like during the day, everybody's doing it. Now people working from home, schooling from home. You know what I mean? So everybody's always together, but you need that time that you actually just
together.
You know, like because you could be in the same house, but everybody's disconnected, right? Because everybody.
Well, you look at these kids that are complaining about being socially distant from each other, and it's really impacting them. And I believe it is. But normally you would see these last summer, you'd see these kids all sitting at a picnic table in the park, not looking at each other, but looking at their physical devices and communicating that way across them, what, 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's up to the kids. I mean,
it's what they know.
Unfortunately, some of these parents didn't carry on what they learned from their parents and on and
Stevie,
on.
babysitting by electronics.
Yeah. I mean, if you let your kid be raised by an iPad, don't get mad when they become a teenager and you're like, oh, you know, you don't have the right work ethic. You're not really setting the groundwork. You have to set a foundation.
Electronics became our babysitter.
Yeah.
Before then, remember, it was still electronics, but it was the TV.
Yeah.
Okay. You sat in front of the TV.
I mean, but there's a time and place for that, right? Sometimes you wind it down and then, you know, whatever. But even Steve Jobs, whatever his name was, there was articles on him that he wouldn't even let his kids have an iPad. And he's the freaking CEO, master of all that stuff, you know? Like, so imagine that. So when you read
it should be
like
meted
that,
out by time. How much time they have to use it for different reasons.
You could set boundaries and you could
we
change
spend more than 24 hours a day on our phones or computer looking at a screen. Do the math. You spend more on the screen on a computer or a phone than anything.
I could send you a screenshot. You know how the iPhones now tell you how much time you're spending on social media?
Crazy, right?
I'm down to 2 minutes a day.
Nice,
you know, every weekend it sends you a thing. I can send you screenshots. I take screenshots. I got at least 4 screenshots in there. I'm down to 2 minutes a day. And that's why I told you, I'm not good at social media. But if I do get on to post a picture, I go show love as much as possible. If I'm on YouTube, I try to get on everybody that's I'm subscribed to, show some love, and then I check out.
Although, can I just add something to this debate? Yeah. As a YouTuber and with other YouTubers on this panel, I would like to promote that your children watch as much YouTube as possible.
As possible.
But you know, the YouTube,
you still have to be paid.
I'm gonna tell you, Sean.
I'm joking,
to touch on the YouTube. Completely. To touch on the YouTube, I've used the YouTube to learn. I didn't go to school for photography.
Yes.
I didn't go to school for a lot of stuff. And I've done high-end photography gigs. I've worked for agencies. I've done Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. I've done Couture Fashion Week. I learned how to use a camera. And everything is YouTube and reading articles and looking at forums and seeing what people made mistakes. And and I didn't go crazy buying all that stuff. You know, when you first get into something, you buy everything, and then you don't need half of it. I cut that. I streamlined everything. I look at the mistakes that other people made, and I right away I got a fast lens, a 2.8 all the way 70 to 24 to 70. You know, I spend more, but actually
Damn
I
it,
saved.
Stevie.
I saved because I didn't spend.
I just bought a
Exactly.
shitload of e-bike accessories, man, because I've been watching YouTube too much.
See, yeah, you gotta streamline it. You gotta watch these
Damn.
people that had the product maybe for more than 10 years or maybe 4
No,
years or
exactly.
stuff like that. And
Exactly.
you see, oh, I bought all this stuff and I don't need it.
YouTube
spend
has
a little
saved me a
extra.
purchase or two. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
Okay, definitely.
I don't consider myself cheap. I try to move wisely and I try to do my research.
Except
like
your Mavic Air 2 is starting to entice me, dude.
Listen, the Mavic
I don't
Air
know.
2. Did you see that panel? I took 3 panels this week.
See,
and
Tom, Ray
I never even
messing
took
with
a
his.
panel before. Like
Yeah.
I never used those. I don't like messing with the gimmicky things like the
You
little
need it. You
spirals
need
and
it.
all that
You need
stuff.
it, Stevie.
I don't mess with none of that. I do
None of
my
that.
as a photographer. I
But there's
got
some
into
good
droning.
stuff there, though.
No,
Yeah,
there's
they got
great
some good
stuff.
stuff on
There's
this
great
air.
stuff. And look
Yeah.
at that panel. I didn't do anything. It stitched it together. All I did was bring
Yeah,
it into
yeah.
Lightroom, and I brought up the shadows, and I brought up the contrast a little bit because I didn't want to push it too far. Because one thing that people don't talk about is the MA2. I have it on. It's either JPEG or JPEG RAW, right? You get both
Yeah.
if you want that option. So I
Right.
have it on JPEG RAW because I'm a photographer. I want to have
Yeah,
that.
you want that raw.
ability
You want to pull
yeah.
out what you can. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
But when you put it on panel, it wouldn't give me a raw file. It
No,
threw
it's
it as
all
a
JPEG.
JPEG.
Oh no, it
Yeah,
can
they
only
don't
do
talk about that.
because you
Like,
can't
That's
handle
why you
it in
gotta
the
get your
buffer.
coloring. That's why you gotta get your EV and everything set, or either use a
Yeah,
filter
you got to do
because
that ahead of time, and
Yeah.
you have to turn off white balance, auto
yes,
white balance.
put it on manual.
If you're doing a
but
panel,
the MA2,
otherwise it's going to band on you.
the
Right,
MA2
it's changing every time it turns.
yeah. The
Yeah.
MA2 is very stripped down because I was flying with Jerome. He's from the group as well, and he had the Mavic 2 Pro.
Right.
So he was just showing me the option that I couldn't find to
Oh,
do the panel in
That's
RAW.
right. The MA2 uses fly.
It's
Right.
stripped down.
That's why, yeah.
Listen,
fine.
it's missing a lot of the intelligent
it's a
flight
point-
modes.
It ain't missing it. It's not
Stevie,
missing it.
it's
They
a
made
point-
this drone specifically just point and shoot. They ain't
Yes,
missing it.
it's a point and shoot camera, just like
No,
the
they'll
Mavic
update
Mini.
that through firmware.
Right.
Yes.
If they want to, but with the Mavic 3
They
coming,
will.
they're gonna give you too much more on this bird.
They'll
They
still be
holding back all
look,
that other stuff.
if everything we've been dreaming about in our sleep, Ray, comes true with the
Right.
Mavic 3.
Yes.
There's going to be a huge cabin between prices between this Mavic Air 2 and that. So
Yes,
they could
yes.
enable everything under the sun on that
100%,
Mavic Air 2
yeah.
and still not cut into it.
Like I say about the Mavic 2 Pro, they could put more Hasselblad color science in that thing.
They
only
could have
give you
put 60
two modes.
60 frame.
That's
Yeah,
what
they
I
give
wanted.
you 2 modes.
That's the
And they
reason
don't
why I
give
don't
you
have one.
60
That's-
frames. They don't give you all this other features.
That's the reason I didn't get it. It was only because of the 60 frames because I shoot everything 4K.
That's right.
60.
True Phantom
Oh,
4 Pro Flyer.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a fan
right,
of
damn it.
Pro.
I hear you, Jay,
I'm
but
a
for
fan of
details, 24 frames per second is all you need for video.
No,
That's
but
what I use.
listen. I'm gonna tell you why. There's a science to it because
Creaminess, smoothness.
listen, you film
24.
at 60 frames. Well, I film for 60 frames. It's only my
60
opinion.
and slow it down, baby.
Because I have the option to slow it down. Because remember,
Okay.
I edit everything, right? So I have to
Yes.
pull it into the software.
Right.
When I render that and save it, I save it at 24. Because remember, your
Gotcha.
eyes see closer to 24, and that's
100%.
why it's more pleasing to your eye when you
100%.
see a video. All my videos, my whole channel is all 24 frames. I save it at 24. But with the 60 frames per second, I have the option when I
Yes.
need it to slow it down. Because
100%.
sometimes you have 20 clips, and maybe 8 of them are a little faster than the rest, and it just doesn't match. And when you rock in with the beat and you ride in that beat with the clips, you might have to slow it down, and I need that option.
I got you.
If
Yeah,
I
I
have
feel you.
everything, if I have everything 4K,
Either
4K
slow it down
30,
or speed it up without
speeding up
imperfection.
is not a problem. Sometimes if it's too fast, it looks a little weird though. But
Yeah.
speeding it up is always easier. But slowing it down, if you only have 30 frames,
Slowing
how
it
much
down, you
gonna
got to
slow it
watch for
down?
those drop frames.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden you got that glitch. You know, you see the frame.
And then you have to interpolate those frames anyway.
I've been seeing lately. Actually, I sent Herman a link. I've been seeing the Mavic 2 Pro on certain pages for sale, like on those apps and stuff like that, and they willing to send you the flight history and stuff like that. But I wouldn't purchase it, even though the prices are, they're dropping. I wouldn't purchase it because of that. Only because of 60 frames. Because everything else, I don't need all those gimmicks. Give me 60 frames, that 1-inch sensor, I'll take in a heartbeat because I'm already used to that. Right. And I'm good. And those flight things, like I don't use the orbit and stuff. I manual orbit everything because.
But there's some good stuff in there. I mean, the
Mavic Air 2 is great.
I love to bracket my shots. But I don't use the HDR. I'll just bracket my shots. I'll take 5 shots per sequence, and do that. That I'll always do because you got to pull out all those latitudes of contrast. Okay.
Right.
You still, look, I need something. The Mavic Mini is traveling everywhere with me. It's a nice, small, compact package. That's why I've been looking at the Mavic Air too. But I can't own everything that they produce. I really can't.
Ray can.
I gotta draw the line.
I got all the toys, man. That's man.
What it is.
I'm a grown ass man. I work hard. I retired in 2 years. My daughter grown. I'm buying what I want to buy.
I'm gonna tell you something about
and that's just me.
I ain't got no place to put it, Ray.
I got it, Justin.
Justin, you got it.
I buy what I want to buy, man. I'm in this big old house by myself. I need things to do.
I tell you about the Mini. Tom brought that up, and it's a great drone because the best camera is the one you use, right? And if you always have
the one you got with you, baby.
Yeah, if you have this little drone that goes everywhere. Yeah.
I got him too.
See, I got the Mini. I got the original Air, and the Mini was already out. And the reason why I got the Air only because the Air had raw photo. That was the only reason. And I heard it's noisy, but what is it, Master Screw or something like that? They make propellers that take down the noise.
The quality,
yeah. So I bought 2 sets of the propellers. I already knew what I was investing in. I knew I was buying a drone that really was bad in urban environments. I knew it already, but I had the Phantom already, baby. Right? Yeah, it was a Wi-Fi drone, but I wanted the raw. I could do the 2.7K 60 frames. That's fine. I could deal with it because it's really a drone on the run. If I'm hiking a mountain or whatever I'm doing, I'm not going to bring the Phantom, right? And if I'm taking a picture of a beautiful sunrise or sunset, I want the raw file, right? Like I rather mess with that than the JPEG.
Right.
And it has some kind of protection. It's a little heavier. You got to register it. Fine. So most people register the Mini anyway.
I'm not. Look, I'd register it anyway. I put stuff on it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I skinned a little devil. So
what I'm saying is, to me at the time, I figure I'm just gonna use the Air when I do a quick hit. Like if I see an old church
Tom,
and I just want to pull over.
Says go for it.
And
to be honest, Tom, I would take that tie clip of a Mavic Mini, toss it on the side, and get a Mavic Air 2.
I'll tell you.
Only thing I don't like about the Air, Stevie, like the Mavic Pro 2 and the Phantom, all of them, they give you the option. JPEG RAW or just JPEG or just RAW.
Just JPEG or just RAW. Yeah,
you forced to use JPEG RAW, so you're eating up your SD card just to get a RAW file. That sucks.
That was the conversation this morning when I was with Jerome. I was asking him why would they do the double. And
but if you also
he was suggesting that it was because for photographers to review it because sometimes the DNG
they work in their phone off the
blurry.
JPEG.
It looks a little blurry when you're trying to review it.
And it's smaller.
Yeah, so the file,
they do, yeah.
He said that more than likely is because you can see a clear version of that DNG file. Because sometimes the DNG, depending on what you're using, when you preview it, it'll come out a little blurry because it's a DNG file. So some
it's phones, a negative, right?
Yeah. So he suggested that, and that made sense. Because at first I was like, why do I have to pick a double?
Right.
Yeah.
Because all my cameras are all raw file. Like my Nikon, everything. My Air is straight raw. Everything is raw. I don't deal with JPEG.
Sean, you have a great evening, sir.
Oh, Sean's leaving. Sean.
Yep.
Sean, take care.
Sean, when
great
you
job, by the way.
Sean, when you keep those celebrity hours, you get less and less sleep,
Celebrity hours.
Listen,
I don't sleep
coming in.
anyway.
Can we do a drop, Sean? Can we do a drop real quick?
I would
before you
love
go?
to. Yes,
Hey,
please, sir.
Sean, I'm gonna hit you up an email.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Oh, and
Okay.
your video went down very well, Herman. Thanks for letting me share that.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know you were gonna play it.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
that was nice.
That
We
was a
caught
surprise
that.
for you. I tried to use people from the
Represented.
community and
Thank you.
from our group and play
Yeah,
their
the
video
cruise
to
ships.
the wider
Yeah.
audience. So
That was a good
Okay.
look.
Well, Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by
those
guys.
guys.
See, now that time we didn't sound like a bunch of drunkards. Because the
Look
first
at
time
that.
we did it earlier, it was like those guys, but we'll get it.
Echo
Sean,
chamber.
thank you so much, man. Always for
See you
your
next time,
support.
guys.
Sean,
You're a
Take care,
big
Sean.
supporter of
It's an
those
honor.
guys, and we appreciate you.
It's an
And
honor.
I appreciate you all too. See you soon.
Have a good
Take
evening,
care.
man.
Yeah, that guy
Okay.
doesn't sleep. I
I
see
know
him
it's
everywhere.
No,
it's-
he's on Zulu time,
He's
dude.
on.
He's what?
He's on.
What
and
is
then
it? A
you see-
quarter to 11?
He signs
Yeah,
off,
right now?
yes,
and then
yes.
you see a notification for a video he released, and then he's
Yes,
here,
it's a
he's there.
quarter
and
to 11.
he doesn't sleep. His work ethic is on fleet, man.
Yeah,
Puts out a nice product.
He's got a little youth on his side. He can still do that kind of stuff. Me, I go fly a drone for 3 hours. I have to come home and take a nap.
Power naps.
No, he puts out a nice product. He definitely
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
His power
quality.
nap. D-Fly, how are you, sir? Welcome back. Oh,
What's up,
Indigo
D-Fly?
Rhino, what's good, homie?
What's up,
I need
Indigo?
I need to hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up on your page about something. Got a project for you. Should you accept this mission?
Global Drone is still in there.
Yeah, thank you, Sean, for coming in, man. Have a great evening. Go get some damn sleep for the next news story or spin down comes up. You know, like that. But Stevie, when you
What's up?
coming back to the Rock, Holmes?
Oh yeah, we gotta do that.
When
we
you
gotta
coming
do that.
back to the Rock, Holmes?
Soon. I'm gonna hit you up. You fly during the week, right? Because I could go down there to the week on the weekdays too.
This month only till the end of this month, Wednesday through Friday, I'm busy. But
Oh, okay.
Mondays and Tuesdays, it's a wrap.
Mondays and Tuesdays you can fly.
It's a wrap until the end of this month, and then it'll go back to a couple, 1 or 2 more days.
So we could do a morning, like maybe Tuesday. The Mondays are crazy for me. Mondays
That
are
sounds doable.
yeah.
very
So
doable.
let's keep in contact. Like let's try, because I could probably do it this Tuesday. The weather
I
holds
got
out,
you because
and
you're a
you could get up
morning.
early.
You're a morning person. I'm a
Yeah.
morning person. Usually, by the time if I go out by myself,
Hold on, time out. I don't mean to cut you off, Al. You just said he's a morning person and you're a morning person. Herm, listen to this, Herm. Jay told me he'd be up the crack of the dawn. So Lawrence must be waking the roosters up to wake everybody else up.
Hey, you know what? You know what sleeping in for me, Ray is? Sleeping in
What?
for me is sleeping till 5.
Wow. Stevie told me they was out there like 4-something, 5-something doing the sunrise. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I had to wake up at 4 o'clock this morning just to get a sunrise, and the
Yeah.
sun wasn't even there. It was cloudy. It wasn't
Cloudy,
even breaking
yeah,
out.
it was a
Yeah,
bust.
but
yeah.
I got to the spot around 6
Crazy,
o'clock in the
man.
morning, and then my boy Jerome pulled up maybe about 6:15, and the sun came up around 6:34. We started seeing little cuts in the clouds. Yeah, and then we filmed at 6 o'clock in the morning in Jersey City, so I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning Saturday as
Just
well.
to be there.
Yeah, you got to get up at 4 and freshen up, and I had the bags by the door and just grab the bags and head out. Jersey City was a ride, you know.
Yeah, man. I
Gotta
wanna
go.
catch that
Thanks
too.
to Indigo for even stopping in, man. We appreciate you all the time. Anyone who drops in, if you drop in for 10 seconds, I don't care. If you drop in for an hour, I don't care. It's the fact that you stop in and support those guys and everyone affiliated with those guys. Because that's what it's coming down to. But it's in the morning is not a problem for me. Like I said, these guys they joke and say I wake up the rooster. I've been trying to sleep in, but Saturday morning, I did get up at 4:30 and said, you know what? I'm going back to bed. And I had a glass of water and I forced myself, literally forced myself, my head under the cover. So, because once I see daylight, I'm up like a vampire, a reverse vampire. So I put my head under the covers. I actually stayed in bed until 6:30, and it was killing me.
Well, Justin. Justin.
Justin's muted.
Justin's muted. He's on the phone.
Oh, he's on the phone.
I got that external hard drive that he told me to get.
Yeah, that's that 8 terabyte joint that you got. Right?
Yeah.
8 terabyte. I need, well, damn. You know what? I need to get rid of one of these hard drives in here and get an external. Because I have my main hard drive. I have 3. I have my main hard drive for operating system and software. But my second hard drive for editing pictures and video. Then I have a third hard drive. So when the second one starts getting past 70%, I just take all the completed videos and push them over to the third hard drive, which is only 3 or 4. It's probably a 4 gig hard drive, but that terabyte, 3 or 4 terabyte hard drive. But Herman's got an 8 joint.
Yeah.
I could. My hands are like this. 8 terabyte external hard drive. You know.
It's SSD. I hope.
Worry about what it is.
There you go.
He said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. As long as it works, we're good."
Man, with video footage, 4K footage, you better have an SSD. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, for the speed.
Hard drive killers.
For the right speed. Well, Herman shoots everything in 4K at 60 anyway, so you better.
You got it. That's a nice boy. I know that one he got right there.
Yeah, he's got to have that. But we could work something out, Stevie. Maybe Tuesday morning wouldn't be bad. We'll talk on Facebook and see what the deal is.
You let me know.
To create time travel over there.
Huh?
I see you trying to create time travel. I see the machine you putting together.
Oh yeah, the machine. Matt's building a new machine for him with an i9 processor.
Yeah. That's already done. I'm on it now. Forget about it.
Get out of here.
I'm rendering 8K and 12K videos. What? Let's do it. Let's do it.
That's what. And I asked him.
I just did an 8K video. It took me no lie. It took maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes to render that thing.
Man. Hey Tom. I asked Ray. I said, "So you getting a liquid cooled system?" He said, "Man, it's so fast. I don't need one."
And then my server sits in the air conditioned room. My computers is in the air conditioned room.
The processing happens before the heat even gets there.
Yo, that i9 processor, that thing is lightning, man.
Beats the heat.
Yeah, just to know what I'm talking about that i9 processor.
You got to be mining Bitcoin with that bad boy then.
Yeah, Western Digital, 8 terabyte.
Listen, I was going to go buy a big Mac because I'm a Mac guy, but I said, you know what? I've been contemplating for years. I said, you know what, Matt? We're going to Micro Center today.
Herman, Global says, how much did that run you, that 8 terabyte? And is it a Western Digital?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah.
What was it?
Western Digital's from back in the day. Yeah, they were always top.
Solid state hard drive. They got good hard drives, man.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Hang on a second.
Yeah,
my 6 terabyte, I paid $159, and it's a Western Digital.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what it was back in when people were making large scale hard drives. Western Digital at one time was the only hard drive that you could put multiple operating systems on.
Yeah.
Meaning you could run Windows 7, you could run eServer on the same hard drive. Western Digital was famous for that shit. Yeah. Because other companies, they were like Seagate. Seagate is good also, but you could not run multiple operating systems back in the day.
You could partition your Western Digital.
Exactly. Now with Western Digital, you can partition it to run eServer. You can partition it to run Windows 10. You can partition it to just be on its own for your kids to mess up without affecting your side, which is a great thing. Okay, there's the link that Herman put for his Western Digital joint. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Bookmark. Bookmark that.
Listen, I'm right in front of me. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 external SSD hard drives hooked up. 8.
That's a lot. You need a server room for that shit.
No, I'm saying cause I'm backing up so much stuff right now, man. Like everything is going right now. I'm about to free up all those external hard drives, man.
I got 3.
I have a 2 terabyte hard drive that's full.
I have 3 5-drive Drobos sitting in front of me.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And you don't
so each one of these
is crazy.
Each one of these is about this one's 12 terabytes, 16 terabytes, and 14 terabytes.
Look at that.
That's what I got.
See, that's the pinky in the brain memory.
Yeah.
Well, it's and they're all red. They're all red drives. Western Digital.
I have 2 red drives. I was about to say that. Yeah. So those. Yeah.
They all have to be red drives if you're going to run them in a NAS.
Yeah, I just have 2 of them. Man,
okay.
Because they never shut off.
Nope.
To put all my apps on my backup drone shots and other stuff, my only internal. You know what, Matt? It's always the guys who fix computers and do computer work that usually have the slowest computer. No, it's funny you say that, because when I was big into fixing people's computers and doing smart homes, my computer was the last computer to fix. You know why? Because I was always out fixing them out in the street. And then I'd come home. I wouldn't even want to cut on a computer. Like, my wife is on the phone all day. So guess what? If you call her after a certain time, she's not answering her phone. If you've been on the phone all day, you come home, you don't want to be on a damn phone.
Right.
You know? But anyway, look, it's 6:56. We're going to get out of here a little early. A few minutes early. Give you guys a chance to go pay the water bill or do whatever you got to do if you're going to check out Val's live stream. Sean Geeks Bonner is going to be interviewed on there.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Nice.
I did see something pertaining to that.
So he's still not getting any sleep.
Yeah. He went to get ready.
Yeah, exactly.
He went to powder his nose.
Put some more Visine in the eyes and
what is he going to be on with Roger and Paul at 1 a.m. our time?
After Val, he'll probably jump on Rogers.
It's going to be with Mike Billy Drone.
Paul Murray. Hey, Herman. Paul Murray just posted. I just got a notification that Geek Spawner was going to be on Val's show. Okay, we appreciate it. He actually told us before he left. But thank you very much, Paul. We appreciate it. Listen, it's been fun. It's been real. Sunday Nights with Those Guys has been sponsored by
Those Guys.
And we appreciate you all for supporting us. Don't forget to check out Paul Murray's show tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, randomly at 3 a.m. in the morning Eastern Standard Time. And Herman, Wednesday nights with those, I'm brain fried. Wednesday nights with those guys, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come by, show support to us, and we'll support you back. Good night. Plain and simple. Real simple.
Take care,
all
everyone.
Right, Herman, I just hit that end stream on